This video is for beginner scripters in Horizon Worlds, or specifically for those who are not familiar with coding but want to move towards creating awesome scripted worlds like these in Horizon Worlds. My personal bio and links to related videos and resources will be in the description of this video. With that, let's get started. This tutorial will be broken up into the following sections. What is scripting? How do you write a one-task script, and how do you hook that script up to an object? Finally, I'll give you your assignment that's designed to get you comfortable building one-task scripts all on your own. Scripting. What is it? Okay, so scripting can be big and scary thing for someone who has never done it, and I can tell you it's not easy, but it is doable. And lucky for us, in the scheme of things, Horizon's coding language is simple, and I'm going to insert some air quotes here, easy compared to coding languages like C++ or C#. Don't know how to write in those languages? Good, because neither do I. Anyhow, scripting in Horizon simplifies coding in two ways. One, it uses a lot of language and phrases that are common to the average person. So words like move, rotate, push, hide, show, these all should be somewhat familiar to you, and you can understand their meaning without someone really explaining it to you. Number two, they group and use visual cues to help you quickly identify code blocks which you use to write code or script in Horizon. Before we look at those code blocks, let's take a deep breath and talk about what a code is. All a code or coding is just written instructions the computer, or in this case, the Horizon server, uses to carry out a task. Yeah, that's right. The mysterious and magical people at Horizon Worlds have given us, mere users, the power to tell their servers what to do. With great power comes greater responsibility, Peter. So coding, or as I've been referring to it earlier in this video, scripting is nothing more than written instructions of what we want to have happen. And with the way Horizon scripting language works, it's just like writing a sentence. Just like with writing in any language, there are those who are great novelists and those who can work with just simple 3-line prose. Whatever the case may be, writing code is just like writing in any language. It takes time, practice, and the development of a vocabulary to use. So just like with learning a new language, you're not expected to do so all at once, and you're allowed to use reference material. So take notes and write the translations in a way that makes sense for you. This is a huge tip that has served me well, so I thought I'd pass it on. Now that we know what a script is, let's get ready to write one. Which brings us to our next section. How to write a one-task script. So, opening my building panel and going to the Gizmo tab allows me to scroll and grab a purple scripting gizmo box. Once I've pulled it out into the world, I can open its properties panel by inserting my virtual hand widget into it and clicking up on the thumbstick. Now, we are ready to begin writing. Wait, actually, before we start pulling blocks, let me give you a simple framework for building a working script. The most basic scripts in Horizon, when written out, must answer the following 3 questions. When do I start the action? What action do I do? And what does or performs the action? Once you've written out this in Horizon scripting language, you should have a functioning script. So let's try it out. The first question of when is answered with any of the code blocks found on the first tab of the scripting blocks property panel. This tab is called the Events tab. Horizon helps you out by populating your first When code block as a default, so no need to grab one from the tab just yet. Our default answer to the first question is when world is started. That's one poetic answer if I had to say so myself. Okay, so the first question has its answer. Question: when do I start the action? Answer: when world is started. And so begins our first sentence. On to the next question. The second question of what is answered with any of the code blocks found on the second and third tabs of the property panel. The second tab, called the Motion tab, has all the blocks related to moving something. The third tab is called the Action tab. Now, yes, I know what you're thinking if you caught that. Hey, is it motion and action? Yes, it is. But there's so much involved with motion that the people at Horizon said it deserved its own tab. That's my hypothesis and I'm sticking with it. Anyway, all you need to remember is that blocks from both tabs can answer the second question: what action do I do? So let's select a block from the Motions tab. Let's scroll down a little and grab Scale to over time. Without being overwhelmed with the bits and bobs inside the code block, we have answered the second question. Question: what action to do? Answer: scale to over time. To insert a little translation, scale to over time means make something grow or shrink, and how slow or fast you want that to happen. You'll see that phrase over time used with several code blocks, and that's all it means: how fast you want the action to happen. On to the last question. What does or performs the action? This last question has already been partially answered for us because the action code block holds a spot that has a default answer. In the code block, we see the word self. This is the default answer to the last question. Question: what does or performs the action? Answer: self. When a script says self, it means whatever the script is attached to performs the action. You can always change this to be a variable so another object can perform the action, but you'd have to know what a variable and object is, which, if you would like a video on that, please leave a comment below. So we've just written our first sentence. When the world starts, scale self to size over these many seconds. That's how you would read that. Without getting into specifics, let's alter the default numbers that we are seeing in this last code block. In the pill area, where you see the 3 ones in their own little compartments, let's change each of them to any number between 2 and 5. This will be the scale ratio, or how big and on what axis to scale the object. Again, if you don't know what an axis is in regards to 3D space, comment below and I'll see about making a video about it. To insert new numbers, simply touch the number you want to change and the keyboard will open. Type the number and hit return to exit. In the yellowish orange pill area, where you see a single box for the time, let's set it to 10 so that the object will take 10 seconds to grow to the full size we just asked it to grow to. Simple enough so far, right? Right. So we're done, right? Wrong. We still must activate the script by giving it somewhere to live. A script gizmo on its own does nothing. It must be attached to something, in this case, an object. How to hook a script up to an object. Back in our building panel, let's grab a shape. I'm going to grab a pyramid, but you can grab whatever you like. Now that we have a shape out here in the world, we can open its property panel by inserting our virtual hand widget into it and clicking up on the thumbstick. Going to the bottom of the panel, we see the area where you can add a script. Clicking on the drop-down arrow, we see a list of available scripts, including the one we just made that has the default title of script. Selecting that script assigns it to the object. Now you'll see the object grow once it's successfully attached. Did the world start? No, the world had started when we first entered it, so the script is just trying to catch up right now. If you want to see this script run again, you can simply restart the world. To restart the world, we need to open the building panel again by clicking on the flat button on our left-hand controller, then go over to the tab called Script, where we will find the play, stop, and reset button. Hitting reset is like hitting stop and then hitting play, but in one convenient button. Stopping a world altogether can be useful when you have scripted a bunch of objects to fly around and you need to get a hold of one. For now, all we have to do is hit reset to see the script replay. Okay, so we just learned what a script is, wrote a one-task script, and hooked it up to an object. Here's your assignment. Now that you know the basics of how to script in Horizon Worlds, I suggest you go through the first 3 tabs and try to make each block work. Keep things simple, just answer the 3 questions, attach the script to an object, and see if you can figure out how to get it to work. Here's another hint. Some blocks depend on the action of a player, and for a player to affect an object, it must be 2 things. 1, collidable, which just means it has substance. And 2, grabbable, which means the player can pick it up and, manipulate it. If you come across any blocks you can't get to work or have any questions or would like to request a video, please leave a comment below. Getting ahead. Some blocks found on the Operators tab are like those chapters in your textbooks that your teacher skipped over because they knew it was too advanced or convoluted for your class, but they would put it on the syllabus as extra credit or something they'd cover next year. If you understand the vocabulary found on that tab, you should be able to work out how to construct a working script sentence in Horizon Worlds. There are intricacies that are unique to Horizon, so keep in mind that a little trial and error may be needed. That brings us to the end of this video. Since you made it to the end, please leave a like, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you'll know right away when a new video goes up. Thanks, and see you in Horizon.